Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the next level of hilarity and depth in Eddie Love's NLP comedy special. We're diving deeper than a dolphin with a PhD into the wacky, wild, and wonderfully weird world of neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP. So, brace yourselves for a journey filled with laughter, knowledge, and a whole lot of "did he just say that?" moments. Let's get this comedy deep dive started. First up, we need to talk about the dark side of NLP. Yes, folks, just like in Star Wars, there are people out there using their NLP powers for evil. But don't worry, I'll guide you through it with more laughs than a stand-up special. Alright, imagine you're at a party, and someone starts mimicking your every move. You lean left, they lean left, you scratch your nose, they scratch their nose. You eat a handful of chips, they eat a handful of chips. If this happens, don't worry. You haven't met your long-lost twin. You've encountered someone using mirroring and matching. Mirroring and matching. This technique is like playing Simon Says, but without the fun. It's used to build rapport by copying someone's body language and speech patterns. The manipulative twist. They're trying to make you think, wow, we're so alike. I should totally trust this person. Just remember, if someone is copying your dance moves at the club, they're not admiring your style. They're probably up to something fishy. Leading questions are another classic. This is where someone asks you a question that's so loaded it could sink a battleship. Example, you don't really believe the Earth is flat, do you? The hidden agenda here is to make you feel like an idiot if you answer differently. If someone hits you with a leading question, just respond with, I'm still considering my options between flat, round, and donut-shaped. Anchoring. Imagine if every time someone touched their nose, you suddenly felt a surge of confidence. Sounds ridiculous, right? Well, that's anchoring. Anchoring, it's like Pavlov's dog experiment, but for humans. By associating a physical action, like touching your nose, with an emotional state, like confidence, people can trigger that state at will. Just be careful not to anchor something embarrassing, like feeling ecstatic every time you hear the sound of a flushing toilet. Trust me, that's one awkward office bathroom encounter waiting to happen. Reframing is all about changing the way you look at something. Example, got fired from your job? Instead of wallowing in misery, reframe it. I've been promoted to full-time Netflix connoisseur. See how much better that sounds? But beware, someone might use reframing to make you think their pyramid scheme is actually a brilliant business opportunity. Spoiler alert, it's still a pyramid scheme. Alright, here are some telltale signs that someone's trying to manipulate you using NLP. And believe me, spotting these signs is like having a superpower, except you won't need to wear spandex. Unless you're into that, no judgment. Feeling pressured or coerced. If you ever feel like you're being pushed into something, chances are someone's using NLP on you. Example, buy this timeshare now or you'll miss out on the deal of a lifetime. They're creating urgency to make you act without thinking. My advice, take a deep breath, count to 10, and remember there's no such thing as a deal of a lifetime unless it involves free pizza for life. Loss of autonomy. Ever feel like you're doing things more for someone else than for yourself? That's a red flag. Example, you should come to my yoga class every day. It'll be good for you. Translation, I need more people in my class to justify my expensive leggings habit. Emotional manipulation. If someone makes you feel guilty, ashamed, or scared to control your behavior, run like you're late for a Black Friday sale. Example, if you loved me, you'd quit your job and move to the middle of nowhere with me. Yeah, no thanks. If they really loved you, they wouldn't ask you to abandon your dreams for a shack in the woods. Isolation. If someone tries to cut you off from friends and family, it's a big no-no. Example, you don't need anyone but me. Translation, I want you all to myself because I'm secretly a control freak. NLP isn't just for creepy partygoers or overbearing partners. It's also used by people in positions of power, like your boss or your creepy uncle who always tries to sell you herbal supplements. Authority figures. Teachers, bosses, and religious leaders can use their position to manipulate others. Example, you must follow this rule because it's always been done this way. Translation, I have no idea why we do it this way, but I'm too lazy to think of something better. Salespeople, using NLP to overcome objections and close deals is like a car salesman's bread and butter. Example, would you prefer to drive away in this car today or tomorrow? Notice how there's no option for I'm just looking. Classic NLP move. Intimate relationships. Partners can use NLP techniques to control their significant other, which is not cool. Example, you need to do this for me or I'll be really upset. If someone's emotions are always your responsibility, it's time to hit the eject button. Marketing geniuses use NLP to make us buy stuff we really don't need. Here's how to spot their tricks and, honestly, laugh your way to saving some money. Let's talk about dark patterns. These are those sneaky little designs on websites that trick you into doing things you didn't actually intend. For example, you might see, click here to subscribe. But if you want to unsubscribe, the button is hidden way down in the footer, written in the tiniest font imaginable. Next up, urgency and scarcity. Creating a false sense of urgency to rush your decision is, well, an old trick. Like when you see only 2 items left. Hurry, yeah, right. They probably have a warehouse full of those items, but you're definitely not supposed to know that. And then there's social proof. Using testimonials or popularity metrics to influence your decisions. For instance, join the millions who have already signed up. Sure, millions of bots maybe. Cult leaders are basically the masters of NLP, and not in a good way. Here's how they reel people in, and more importantly, how to avoid drinking their metaphorical or literal Kool-Aid. First, love bombing. They overwhelm new members with affection and attention, like, "You're the best thing that's ever happened to this group." Translation, "I'm about to manipulate you into giving me all your money." Next is isolation, cutting members off from outside influences to control their environment. For example, "You should only spend time with us, outsiders don't understand." And then reframing reality, distorting information to fit the cult's worldview. Like, "The world outside is dangerous, but here you're safe." Translation, "You're safe from rational thinking and personal freedom." Politicians are like NLP Jedi Masters, using every trick in the book to sway your vote. Here's how they do it. First up, framing, presenting information in a way that favors a particular viewpoint. For example, "We need to cut taxes to save the economy." Translation, "I need to cut taxes to make my rich friends richer." Then there are emotional appeals, using language to evoke strong emotions like fear, anger, or hope. Like, "We're going to build a better future together." Translation, "I hope you don't notice I have no concrete plans." Slogans and catchphrases are next, creating memorable phrases that simplify complex issues. For example, "Make America Great Again." Translation, "Vote for me because this sounds catchy." And finally, misdirection, focusing attention on irrelevant issues to distract from core problems. Like, "Look at this minor scandal." Translation, "Ignore the fact that I have no solutions for real issues." To protect yourself from NLP manipulation, you need to become, well, an NLP ninja. Here's how. First up, build self-awareness. Understand your values, beliefs, and needs. For example, you might say, "I value honesty and integrity." Translation, "You can't manipulate me with your shady tricks." Next, critical thinking, question information, and challenge assumptions. Like, "Is this really true or am I being sold snake oil?" Translation, "I'm not falling for your gimmicks." Now set boundaries. Clearly define and communicate your comfort zones. Maybe you say, "I'm not comfortable with this." Translation, "Back off, buddy. Trust your instincts too." Pay attention to gut feelings and intuition about people and situations. Your gut is like your personal alarm system. If it's going off, something's probably not right. For example, "This deal sounds too good to be true." Translation, "It probably is." Time to skedaddle. And finally, seek support. Talk to friends, family, or professionals if you feel manipulated or controlled. External perspectives can provide clarity and help you resist manipulation. You might ask, "Hey, does this sound fishy to you?" Translation, "I need a sanity check from someone I trust." All right, enough about the dark side. Let's talk about how you can use NLP for good, not evil. Think of yourself as the superhero of NLP, using your powers to make the world a better place. Personal development for starters. Want to be the best version of yourself? NLP techniques can help you overcome fears, build confidence, and create positive habits. For example, use anchoring to feel calm before a big presentation. Just don't anchor it to something ridiculous like doing the chicken dance, unless your presentation is about poultry. In business, use NLP to build rapport with clients, enhance your leadership skills, and improve communication. For example, build rapport by mirroring your client's body language subtly. If they scratch their nose, you can too. Just don't turn it into a nose-picking contest. In therapy, help clients overcome their issues by using NLP techniques ethically. For example, use reframing to help someone see a challenging situation in a new light. Just make sure your new light isn't too blinding, metaphorically speaking. Ready to take your NLP skills to the next level? Here are some advanced techniques that will make you the Yoda of NLP. Let's start with a deep dive into hypnotic language patterns. Hypnotic language patterns can influence and persuade at a deeper level. Use these powers wisely, young Padawan. For example, as you continue to read this book, you'll find yourself laughing more and more. Translation. I'm using a hypnotic suggestion to make you laugh because laughter is the best medicine, unless you have a hernia. Next, mastering nonverbal communication. Understanding body language and facial expressions can give you an edge in any interaction. For example, notice if someone's arms are crossed and their foot is tapping. They're either defensive or really need to use the bathroom. Now, utilizing NLP in digital marketing. Apply NLP techniques to create compelling content, engage audiences, and drive conversions. For example, use urgency in your marketing copy. Sign up now to get 50% off. Just make sure you actually give them the discount. No one likes a bait and switch. And finally, case studies of successful NLP practitioners. Learn from the masters who have successfully implemented NLP techniques in their lives and businesses. For example, Richard Bandler, co-creator of NLP, used his techniques to help people overcome phobias. He probably could have helped me overcome my fear of clowns, but that's a story for another day. Ready to become an NLP expert? Here's your strategic plan. First up, let's talk about your step-by-step learning path. Start with the basics and work your way up to advanced techniques. For example, begin by learning about anchoring and mirroring. Once you've got those down, move on to hypnotic language patterns. By the end, you'll be an NLP ninja warrior. Seriously. Next, let's set some achievable goals. You want to set clear, achievable goals for your NLP journey. For instance, you could say, by the end of this month, I will be able to use anchoring to feel confident in any situation. Translation, I will be the master of my own emotions. Now, continuous improvement and adaptation are key. Keep practicing and adapting your techniques to different situations. For example, use NLP to improve your negotiation skills, then tweak your approach based on what works best. Just don't try to negotiate your way out of doing the dishes. Trust me, it won't work. And finally, networking with other NLP experts. Build relationships with other NLP practitioners to exchange knowledge and experiences. For example, join NLP forums, attend workshops, and connect with like-minded individuals. Just don't get sucked into a cult unless it's a cult of laughter. NLP can also help you achieve financial success. Here's how to use your NLP skills to make bank. First, identifying opportunities in markets. Use NLP to spot new business opportunities and emerging markets. For example, use your rapport-building skills to network at industry events and identify potential partnerships. Just don't pitch your idea during the buffet line. People are serious about their food. Next up, crafting persuasive business proposals. Create compelling business proposals that effectively communicate value. For example, use hypnotic language patterns to make your proposal irresistible. Imagine the success you'll achieve when you partner with us. Translation. You can't say no to this amazing opportunity. Now, building and leading high-performance teams. Apply NLP techniques to foster teamwork, motivate employees, and achieve high performance. For example, use anchoring to create a positive work environment. Just make sure your anchor isn't something weird like playing Baby Shark on repeat. And finally, leveraging NLP in investment and wealth management. Use NLP strategies to make informed investment decisions and manage wealth effectively. For example, reframe market downturns as buying opportunities. The market is on sale. Time to stock up. Just don't go overboard and buy stocks like they're on a clearance rack. Now let's dive even deeper into the world of hypnosis within NLP. And no, I'm not going to make you bark like a dog, unless you're into that. So, understanding hypnosis in NLP. Hypnosis in NLP is like Jedi mind tricks, but instead of making people forget their droids, you're helping them change behaviors and thought patterns. Let's talk about frame control. This involves setting the context or frame in which interactions take place. It's kind of like playing chess with someone who thinks they're playing checkers. You set the rules, they follow along, and you win, without them even realizing it. For example, when you're pulled over for speeding, instead of saying, "I'm so sorry, officer," try reframing it with, "Wow, officer, you must be having a busy day keeping our streets safe." Suddenly, the frame is about appreciating their hard work, not your mistake. Just don't overdo it and offer them donuts. Trust me, it doesn't work. Chapter 13, The Dark Side of Hypnosis, or How Not to Be a Supervillain. So with great power comes great responsibility, right? Here's how to avoid turning into a hypnotic supervillain. There are so many common misconceptions and myths out there. People often think hypnosis is all about mind control, making people quack like ducks or cluck like chickens. But honestly, the reality is, hypnosis is more like guided meditation, with just a bit of flair. Now let's talk ethical considerations. Always, and I mean always, get informed consent. Hypnosis should never be used to manipulate someone without their knowledge or, against their will. This isn't a Marvel movie where you can just mind control your way out of doing chores. For example, if you're using hypnosis to help someone quit smoking, make sure they're on board and totally aware of what's happening. Don't just spring it on them during a casual chat about the weather. Chapter 14, Criticism and Controversies, or How to Handle the Haters. Like any good thing, NLP has its fair share of critics. So, here's how to navigate the naysayers without losing your cool. Or, hey, your sense of humor. Scientific validity and criticism. Critics argue that NLP lacks empirical support and scientific validation. It's kind of like telling a scientist that unicorns are real just because you saw one in a dream. Now, addressing the skeptics, acknowledge the criticisms, but also, highlight the positive outcomes and real-world applications. And if all else fails, just smile and say, well, it works for me. For example, if someone says NLP is pseudoscience, just respond with maybe, but it helped me overcome my fear of spiders. Now I can finally visit Australia without screaming at every 8-legged creature. Ready to become an NLP master? Here's your roadmap to greatness, sprinkled with humor and a dash of reality. So let's kick things off with some recommended books and authors. Start with the classics to build a solid foundation. One of the must-reads is Frogs into Princes by Richard Bandler and John Grinder. And no, it's not about turning amphibians into royalty, but about transforming your life. Besides Bandler and Grinder, you should definitely check out works by Tony Robbins. But hey, just remember, no one's as excited as Tony at 6 in the morning, so, take his enthusiasm with a grain of coffee. Now let's talk online courses and certifications. Invest in your NLP education with online courses. Think Udemy, Coursera, and specialized NLP training centers. Just avoid any course that promises to make you an NLP guru in 24 hours. Real mastery takes time, folks, like cooking a perfect lasagna. All right, moving on to practical exercises and daily practices. Put theory into practice with daily exercises. For example, practice anchoring by associating a positive state with a daily action, like feel gratitude every time you brush your teeth. Just make sure you don't end up anchoring joy to the sound of your neighbor's dog barking at 3 in the morning. Follow this strategic plan to become the NLP superhero you were born to be. First up, the step-by-step learning path. Start with the basics and gradually tackle advanced techniques. For example, begin with understanding anchoring and mirroring, then move on to more complex concepts, like submodalities and hypnotic language patterns. It's kind of like building a house. Start with the foundation, not the rooftop jacuzzi. When it comes to setting achievable goals, break down your NLP journey into manageable steps. For instance, in the next 3 months, I will use NLP techniques to improve my public speaking skills. Translation, I will rock the mic like a pro without sounding like a robot. Continuous improvement and adaptation are key. Keep refining your skills and adapting to new challenges. Use feedback from your NLP practice to improve. And hey, if your friends start calling you a mind control freak, maybe dial it back a bit and focus on being more subtle. And don't forget about networking with other NLP experts. Connect with fellow NLP enthusiasts to share knowledge and experiences. Join NLP forums, attend workshops, and participate in webinars. Just make sure you don't end up in a group where everyone's trying to out-hypnotize each other. That's a recipe for chaos, or honestly, a really strange party. Let's talk about how to use your NLP skills to make some serious money. Because really, who doesn't want to be rich and hilarious? Start by identifying opportunities and markets. Use NLP to spot new business opportunities. For example, analyze market trends and use your rapport-building skills to network with key players. But just remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably involves selling timeshares or multi-level marketing. Next up, crafting persuasive business proposals. Create business proposals that get results. For instance, use hypnotic language patterns to make your proposal irresistible. Like, imagine the success you'll achieve when you partner with us. Just don't use too much hypnotic language or your clients might, fall asleep. Building and leading high-performance teams is another area where NLP shines. Apply NLP techniques to foster teamwork and motivation. For example, use anchoring to create a positive work environment. Maybe start meetings with a high-energy song. Just make sure it's not Baby Shark unless you want to lose your team's respect instantly. And finally, leverage NLP in investment and wealth management. Make informed investment decisions with NLP strategies. For example, reframe market downturns as opportunities to buy low and sell high. The market is on sale. Time to stock up. Just don't go overboard and end up hoarding stocks like they're toilet paper during a pandemic. Remember, NLP is a powerful tool for personal and professional growth. Use it wisely, keep laughing, and go out there and be the best, funniest, and most NLP-savvy version of yourself. Now that you've got the knowledge, it's time to practice. Go out there and use your new skills to make the world a better place, one laugh at a time. Congratulations! You've survived the deep dive into Eddie Love's NLP comedy special. Remember, NLP is a powerful tool for personal and professional growth, but it's also a great way to inject humor into your life. Use these techniques wisely, keep laughing, and go out there and be the best, funniest, most NLP-savvy version of yourself. Eddie Love signing off. Remember, the mind is a powerful thing, so use it wisely, and with a lot of laughs. So there you have it. Let me know how you like it.